Good. How are you?
Fantastic, Miss Margaret. All right. So let me hit edit on here. And I'm gonna move this I'm gonna move our proposal back into edit mode. That way if
Okay.
we need to make any changes, we can do that on the fly. So you won't be able to access the same one until I resend it, and then you'll be able to see it from there.
Okay.
And I have the grounds maintenance people outside, so if it sounds like a roaring tractor every so often, they're doing a pass by. That's
Okay.
all right. Where would you like to start? Do you have specific questions or things that you want to cover out of the gate?
Well, I have a few questions.
Okay.
I did see on the proposal, there's audio testimonials is checked off, but there's no dollar value, so I don't know if that's something that's actually happening or not, and what that is.
That was a mistake on my end. It was in the
Okay.
ticket. So it's
I thought it might be. That's
yes, it's
okay.
definitely an option. This is a service that is part of the Nearby Now program. So if you are on this Nearby Now program, one of the things that they have available is an add-on, which basically you get a local or toll-free number. Like,
Okay.
let me see here. I know I have it on here somewhere. Oh my gosh, they're so loud. Shh. Okay, yeah, they have the blower now. Just gonna see if I had a headset. Okay, so this is what happens. So we use this. We have this phone number. Let me just call it so you can kind of hear how this works.
Thank you for calling the CI Web Group customer feedback line. Please leave us a love note after the beep.
Okay, so it's just a cute little recording. You can record it yourself or use the little techno techno voice. Um,
Okay.
there's a couple reasons why the phone number is important in the HVAC world. So number one is as with every industry, you have some consumers that were born on the wrong side of the bed. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And if they have a complaint, if they don't have a way or a place to be able to share a complaint, then they go to public forums. And the last thing you want is them going to a public forum and posting a negative review somewhere on Yelp or something like that. So that is the defensive mechanism for allowing consumers to be able to share their frustrations through a recorded hotline, and then you guys be able to take action on those calls.
Okay.
Um, and the goal is again, it's a defensive reputation management application. On the
Right.
offensive side, what we do is as these calls come in, we're able to bucket them into different groups. So if we have a group of calls that are um, related to you guys doing an amazing job for an air conditioning system installation or for a whole house filtration system or whatever it is, commercial and so forth, um, then we can take all of those calls, we can bucket them into a playlist, and we can take that playlist and we can post it right on your air conditioning installation or on your whole house filtration page. So you have audio testimony.
Okay.
So there are
Okay.
positives. The drawback is you don't want to rely solely on this because um, audio calls are only beneficial to the human ear, not indexable
Yeah.
by Google. Your
Yeah.
your written reviews indexable by Google. Sometimes people are lazy, so they just look at the pretty stars.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So that's an option. You can add it on at any time. It's not something you need to decide on now. It's $20 a month.
Okay.
They issue the phone number, and then we integrate it into the website, and we do all the monitoring for you.
Okay. The other thing I saw, not marked off, but there was a $50 amount, but I don't see it actually being added into the monthly total, is the call tracking software,
That is also a typo from the
which is
template.
right below the audio testimonials.
Okay, got it. That's fixed. This, if you are doing pay-per-click, local listings, social media, if we're doing a lot of various campaigns for you, then I highly recommend utilizing a call tracking software.
Okay.
We set it up to where you have ownership of the account. You can move it if you ever left. You still own the phone numbers. You want to be very careful when it comes to call tracking numbers. You never want the company
Right.
to provide it with you without having the confidence that it's your number. You can port over if you leave, because otherwise they are permanently
Right.
indexing that phone number to
Yes.
your name, and it can be reassigned to somebody else.
Okay.
But the value is when you get to the point where we are running a multi-channel marketing strategy. So at this rate, not necessary. When you start getting into
Yes.
the thousands, absolutely critical, because that allows us to be able to determine our return on investment based on
Right.
your CRM system and your calls by dollar
Okay.
invested.
Okay. Nearby Now, is that like Local Splash?
No,
No?
significantly different and better. I want to say there's around 30 different companies that are going to use the word local in their name. And they
Okay.
have really, really good intentions. They are not technical or SEO experts, so you get around 20 to 30% of the value or leverage from the software or application or your time and energy into it. Whereas Nearby Now, in conjunction with our team, you have technical coders, you have web developers, you have engineers, SEO engineers, and Google schema engineers. And those guys all working together give you a robust application, heavily used and leveraged. And then if you are using us for other services such as local listings, social media marketing, and so forth, then it's even leveraged even further, because the work you put into and the results you get out of using this application can be re-leveraged on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google Plus. So it's a much more comprehensive strategy.
Okay.
Good questions. All right, one of the things we had on here is we definitely said we recommended the CRM system. What I did not put on here is the online scheduling system. I think we kind of left that in the air. Do you want people to be able to set appointments to talk to you in the future? So if they come to your website, they want to connect with you, but they can't talk until their lunch break at 3 o'clock or whatever time. Do you want them to be able to reserve time with you to have a conversation, or to dispatch a technician, or do you just want to be able to have web forms and a CRM?
Is that something we could add later?
Yes, you can absolutely turn that functionality on later. Yeah, so you want to
Yeah.
start off, the design and development of the site is heavily predicated on, if you have this system, then you're not having to buy all of the custom web forms and the plugins and the subscriptions and licensing for those. So
Right.
the design of the site will be different based on you having the web forms. But once you have the CRM system and the web forms in place, turning the scheduling system on, it's cakewalk.
Okay.
Nice. 74. What else do you have on your questions list?
Now, you also said so the cost of this is, where did I put it?
So your
The
monthly,
initial cost.
your monthlies right now, I have them. I was shooting for that $500 mark. I was able to get really close.
Right.
517.43. Your
Right.
one-time investment for your website design, development,
Right.
and I've got 5 pages of content writing
Okay.
is $27.60. And if you,
Okay.
we also approved a 12-month financing program, or it's actually more of a payment plan, no financing phase.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. So that is part of it. We can do it in that way rather than a lump sum, correct?
Yes, absolutely, you can.
Okay. That's great. Those were my questions.
Easy enough. So I have, let's see here. I have 2760, 23 2.57, 12 months. That's design, development, content writing. I have 517. This should be 43. Let me fix that. That is basic CRM, hosting, maintenance, refresh and replacement, and the Nearby Now application.
Right.
Phase 2, I put in here, this is, let me just make sure this is recommendation. Would be to add SEO, blogging, social, and I'm also going to say local listings.
Okay.
So this would be the goal, but we've got plenty of upfront work that needs to be done. Get you guys into a good website. Make sure that you are building up your review portfolio, getting some local SEO done through that, and then
Yes.
Hopefully the other thing that's going to happen is the work that you guys are already doing, whether you have existing customers that are referring you business, you have, more face-to-face marketing activities going on, that just merely having a more professional and better converting website is going to get you more closes.
Absolutely.
And then I would just make sure that, at a bare minimum, during your spring and during your fall, always set up strategy calls with us.
Okay.
And when you come to those strategy calls, don't try not to look at us just like a web design vendor.
Right.
The team of executives we have and department heads, these are very, very seasoned entrepreneurs. They have built, bought, sold, grown, and helped grow thousands of other companies' websites. So when it comes to what they can help you with, whether it's operational, technical, if you ever have a company trying to sell you on some kind of advertising,
Right.
whether we provide the service or not, we probably have experience with this. So leverage us, use us, ask us questions. And if we can help provide some guidance in that, that is, it's important. Our goal is not to sell services from a catalog and call it a day. Our goal is to help you grow your business, and it requires much more than just the things on our plate of offerings.
Okay, you're cutting in and out, so I'm
Oh,
not hearing quite everything you're saying.
I said that, so our ultimate goal is to help you grow your business. So
Right.
it's not like a traditional vendor environment where you're just buying products and services off of a list.
Right.
They really care, and we can help with many, many areas, whether it's operational, whether it's pricing modules, if it's I just got done doing a consultation with a client that's been with us since 2013, and today we revised his entire strategy for his product and service flow. So he's going to focus primarily on service calls, service and repair calls, with the opportunity to convert the repair into an installation or a change out, and the opportunity so his repair and service, that's the lowest profit margin, but the best entry point for a new lead. The installation and replacement is the largest profit margin, but all your eggs in one basket with lots of, one-time fees and big profit lines that's not sustainable. So the other goal we pulled together with him is a very heavy concentration and a direct marketing campaign geared towards existing customers getting converted into residual maintenance agreements. And so we're covering everything from staffing, residual income, his pricing model. So we're here to help.
Perfect.
Okay.
We do have some of that in place, but I know it does need some tweaking.
I just got off when you joined, I was having our Q3 strategy session for our management team. And it's, every quarter, especially when you guys are really busy, then we get to focus on ourselves a little bit. So during your summer and your winter, that's what we do is we go through and reevaluate every department, every piece of technology, every system, every process, and every person within the company. And it's constantly reevaluate and change, reevaluate and change, and keep doing that.
Right.
It's never perfect.
No, it isn't.
Yeah. And that's a good place to be. I have one of my department heads, Ben, he said, if anybody thinks they're perfect and doesn't have any room for growth, they should just die now. I was like, well said. So, okay, awesome. A couple things. Let me just highlight these because I know that reading 75-page agreements is not anyone's ideal thing to do. So let me cover some highlights that are important.
Okay.
Everything in this document is there for a reason, and it's a lot of experience. This first section is an appendix within our terms and conditions. This is project timelines and resource allocation. So when we start a project, we are a machine. Just like you guys, we have a certain number of resources that can handle a certain amount of work over a certain duration of time. So you getting started with a project for web design and development right now within your industry, the projected outcome is that you would start the project, not be able to participate, and the project will take 3 to 4 times the duration of time that we allot for. So I'm trying to head that off at the beginning.
Okay.
So I understand that it's a factor, but it's one of those things you just have to make time for. So we will we'll set a project start date, and you'll have a few different meetings. You're going to talk to our finance guy. He's going to go over the agreement, make sure that you guys are comfortable with everything and that we've got complete clarity on payment plans and all of that. You'll have a meeting with Kathy Marshall, which is an onboarding session, and that's to learn about the client portal and all the data. The client portal, you're going to look at it and you're going to have a deep breath sigh like, ugh, and it feels heavy. However, the more energy you put into completing all of the things within the client portal, and this is when do your seasons start and end? This is what are the primary counties? What are the primary cities? What are the primary services and phrases? And this is all of the nuts and bolts. What promotions do you want to run over? What? So it's going to make you think. It's a little time consuming, but it's worth it because once it's in a database, you don't have to tell us every single year. We already know.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of those upfront work will save you tons of time over the lifeline of working with us. Then you will have a project launch call, and during that, they will be defining the scope of work for your website. So you'll be choosing color schemas, you'll be choosing the functionality, the things that they want to highlight in different containers, what your design concepts are, what you like, what you don't like, and they're going to do a design brief. The business strategist, which is going to be Mike for you, and that happens to be my husband. So he was here during our first call, which is awesome.
Okay.
He will be tagged to your projects for 8 weeks from the project start date to go live and completion. He will also have 2 project managers. He'll have a nighttime project manager and kind of a midday. So really, you wind up having someone that works from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., someone from 3 a.m. to 2 p.m., and someone from 8 p.m. to around 3 a.m. that are all working at the same time. Yeah. You'll have a design phase, so you'll have a design lead, and then you'll have a designer. You will not ever have to talk to these guys. You'll always be talking to the project managers. So it's one resource for 3 weeks from the date that they get the homepage design brief, and 1 to 2 resources for 3 weeks from the date they get the homepage design brief. We want to have the design for your homepage approved within 3 weeks from your first meeting.
Okay.
The next is development. So you'll have 1 to 2 resources for 5 weeks from the approved design phase. Your content writers will be 1 to 2 resources for one week from the homepage development site. So in that first meeting, we'll be doing an asset analysis, figuring out what content you have. You've got 5 pages of content that are currently included within this. You guys may decide that you want to add more content after you do that analysis, and then prioritizing what content do we need to write first.
Right.
Pre-go live, you'll have a development auditor, a technical auditor, you'll have a website user interface auditor, and a server administrator and security auditor. And these are all basically 1 week from dev site approval, which means all your designs were approved, so they start development. Development was done, content was applied, you're doing a review on the site, putting in any final little tweaks, and then you're saying, okay, I like this, let's move. Post go live, once the website goes live, you'll have 1 resource for 3 days after go live, and you'll have another resource for 1 week after go live that are evaluating your website in a live environment, which is totally different than a production environment, because now we have actual traffic and hackers and all the other garbage out there.
Okay.
All right. Then once your website is live and you're out of the post go live monitoring phase, then this entire team is retired and moved on to another project, and you have a new team, which is the support team. So that is our customer service, help desk, 911 support, and if you are on a website administrator plan, you're not right now, but in the future, they're also available. And then this is basically my OCD version of above by day.
Right.
Perfect. Best case scenario. Security. This is Appendix B, again in the terms and conditions. This basically explains no website is hack-proof, large, small, public, private. The only website that is impenetrable is one that was never built.
Right.
It just is what it is. The best thing we can all do is understand how to have best practices as it relates to security, and that's on your end and our end. You're on a refresh plan. Brilliant. That's going to help you because your technology is not going to become outdated.
Yes.
I would review this section. This is critical things you should do to protect your website from viruses. So these one, you're on our hosting maintenance, that's perfect. You're on the refresh, that's perfect. There will be times that during the design and development cycle, our team will say, so let's say You meet with your strategist, the designer creates a design, and you approve it, and the developer sees it and comes in and goes, no, if you do that, I will have to modify the theme or I will have to use a plugin. You want to avoid major development changes to a theme because then we can no longer update it and it becomes a security issue. And we want to avoid
Right.
third-party plugins. So
Okay.
just a forewarning, it's possible that even though we all approve something, that a developer comes in and says no, and we just need to listen.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
we've
Okay.
the hard way.
Understandable.
Okay. Limit plugins, we got that. So third-party applications and so forth. You guys are on the CRM system. That's another very smart thing to do. That's going to prevent you from having web forms on your website, which leaves your website open to SQL injection. People, hackers and robots submitting something directly into your database. So very smart.
Okay. Perfect.
Third-party
Okay.
plugins, you're golden. We don't use any, we pay for everything. We don't use any free giveaway. So sometimes we'll have clients that'll say, hey, can you install this free?
Right.
And it's always infected with something.
Right. Yeah.
And then SSL is always recommended by Google. Not necessary right now
Mhm.
if you get a lot of traffic then.
Mhm.
Now, these are, this basically says, did you know what you do or don't do with your personal computer can negatively impact your website's security? So a lot of people don't know this. These are security best practices you and your team should follow. So with your own personnel, anybody that's interacting with the back office of the website, you should make this part of their like employee packet or something. So one is making sure that their personal computers are always secure, latest software updates, especially if
Right.
you're not using an Apple or Mac. PCs are
Okay.
bad. Proper
Yeah.
controls for security policies for your personal computers or VPN servers and networks. Always use extremely high passwords. So the best thing to tell your team is if you can remember it, you should not use it.
Okay.
Okay? So it needs to be
I have a few of those now.
copy paste. The only way you're getting
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
dumb password is copy
Yeah.
paste. Okay.
Yeah.
Passwords, you want to change them about every 3 months. And that's, you could take this thing and apply it to your banking policies. It's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you guys are checking email, you want to be really careful opening attachments and links from other social media sites or email if you're not sure about it. If you're unsure, ask.
Right.
Even if it looks like it's coming from
Right.
a friend, and be really careful about things that look like they're coming from PayPal, banks,
Oh
anything
yes.
that says, share this with 10 friends, avoid them.
Oh no. No. Let's go delete.
Yep, delete. All right. Website administrators. This is basically if you have a computer that has any possibility of being infected, don't log in. Avoid software downloads. So if you didn't go looking for it, don't install it. If you ever get an email and it says your computer may have a virus, download this,
Right.
delete
No.
fast.
Yeah.
Avoid conducting risky behaviors online. I'll leave that at that.
Right. Yeah.
If you ever need help or are unsure, you can always submit questions. If you have a plugin you're interested in, or emails or downloads, you can always submit them to our help desk and security team for review, and we will help you.
Okay.
And even if your best friend supposedly is a web person and they tell you something, I will say 9 times out of 10, I will have a client that says, well, my friend does websites and they said install this, and I will go Google whatever they said to install, and it is on the highest security list for vulnerability.
Right. Right.
Okay, so that is, there's lots of other things on there, but those are the big ones. Minimum participation project. So these are the, that has that big spreadsheet that has it by day. These are the main touch points. So you
Yes.
have to have the project launch
Okay.
call. We want to approve all of the designs, and then you'll move into development.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Key phrase approval, finalizing your website content assets and content ordering priorities, and
Right.
the vault information. This is the one reason why websites do not go live on time. Probably the biggest one is waiting until the last minute to go find your logins and passwords to your domain registrars, your website, your email, those kind of things. So the sooner the better on that.
Okay. Okay.
And that you approve your dev site. And once you approve your website to go live, you still have a week where we're doing audits, we're prepping your production server, we're optimizing the code on the website, changing all of the links and file structures, and getting the website live. And you have DNS time. So it's not, if you want to go live on the 1st, then plan on the 20th, to try and get the go live approved.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And those are the biggest things. Everything else is typical attorney stuff. Other than that,
Right.
this is what matters. Our clients are our family. They're with us forever. So we don't have any crazy, weird cancellation things. It's a love us or leave us type of team. And you never have to get frustrated to get people's attention. Just
Okay.
raise a red flag and say, I need help. I don't understand this, or I feel like this should go this way. Usually it's just if someone has frustration, it's some kind of a communication gap, or just the stuff's flipping complicated.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it.
Great.
Sound okay?
I'm looking forward to seeing it all happen.
Fantastic. I am going to send this over to you. What's your thought process on timeline for getting started?
So what do we do next?
So on this document,
We'd like to get started as soon as possible.
Okay. Then the document I just sent you, just sign that. It's a digital signature, so it'll have a little button that says next, sign, next date.
Right.
Keep hitting next, and it'll take you through all the things. Submit that. Then our management team will sign off on it. Then accounting will contact you, and then our Mike will reach out to you to schedule your project launch. Kathy will schedule your onboarding, and you'll be rocking and rolling.
Okay. The other question I guess I have is we leave our website the way it is until this goes live, correct?
Yep.
Leave everything that we have in place right now.
Yes.
And will you do canceling for us, or do we cancel that with?
Once your website goes live, you'll submit the cancellation requests, and we can help you with wording or whatnot, or what specifically needs to be canceling. It'll basically be your web provider, marketing, and your hosting provider. But you'll keep your email hosting for
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's make this our test scenario for the perfect dealer that started a project at the beginning of their busy season and got it done in 45 days.
Let's hope so.
I will talk about you for years.
With technology the way it is, we can do this wherever we are, right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. You can be anywhere. And a lot of times it's the anticipation of it being difficult to get a meeting scheduled, and the meeting being difficult. I promise you, other than the first couple meetings too, everything else is quick, organized, efficient, not exhausting. So just book it. Even though it's on the calendar for an hour, my guess is these guys are so good it'll probably take 15 to 20 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Margaret, this is Kathy Marshall. I want to welcome you to the CI Web Group family.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
Yes, ma'am. Looking forward to working with you.
Oh, so am I.
Fantastic. All right, Miss Margaret, then we will see you on the other side.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, hon. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.